I love you.
Oh. Huh. Oh.
And say it back. Please. There we go. Say it some more because I'm really feeling down lately. That's right. I've been hitting those horrifying lows. And I need some acknowledgement of love. And of, I guess it's this like undeserved sense of, it's not entitlement, but I guess it's, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hubris?
It's not hubris.
Oh.
just because somebody said hubris in an email to me recently doesn't mean that no, it's not hubris.
Okay.
Validation.
Oh.
I guess that it's validation. Isn't one of our questions about validation?
It is.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, well, on that note, welcome to All the Space in Between. My name is Mitch. Now that you mention it.
Saying it like that.
I am Mitch Welling. Thank you for listening to All the Space in Between.
I'm Mitch Welling of Flat Sound, and I am Billy Blossom of Billy Blossom.
Of BillyBlossom.com.
Yeah, from blossom.org.
Yeah.
From viral successful Patreon Blossom.
Would you say that owning blossom.org, BLSSM, not even the word, but blossom.org is as impressive as that berry company that what is it? It's a chocolate covered strawberry company. Who is it? I don't want to say
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like Sherry's Berries or something.
Yeah.
But they own just berries.com.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Was it as good as yours, is what I'm asking.
No, because mine's not even a word. It's just a collection of consonants.
How much did you pay? You don't have to just ballpark by the hundreds of thousands. Because berries.com was probably worth like $1 million. Somebody bought it in the .com boom, 1996.
Sitting on that for a long time. Yes.
I wish I owned berries.com.
You can't.
But all I own is all the space in between.com. Sought after, for sure. Definitely.
Sought after.
It's definitely it's nice and short is what it is.
Yeah, it rolls off the tongue.
It's short, it's easy to remember, everything is spelled correctly, and it's
very quick to type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, anyone listening should try it now. Go to your browser and just type all the space in between.com and click the little bookmarks.
Yeah, there we
tab.
go. Favorites bar.
And thank you for listening to the show. We have if you'll allow me to, this is an advice podcast.
Some would call it that.
Some would call it a couples cast.
If you've got a loose interpretation of those words, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We
are a couple. We do give advice, yeah.
Yeah, we cast our pod to other artist couples or just people who have ever taken a pee-pee in their life. Actually, our questions this episode are kind of about sex, aren't they?
Oh, God. Yeah, I suppose two of them are. One of them's about art.
One of them is about art. We have the art question at the end, as we always do. But the two questions are about sex. We should jump into it right now because, I got a lot to say on the topic.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I've had sex.
This man?
Mm-hmm.
This man's fucked.
He's done it all.
You wouldn't know from looking at his posture.
No, his posture says that he is not.
No. Surprising fact, yeah.
My legs say otherwise. They go, he's not had sex. Of course he hasn't. Barely walked to the bed on those little things.
Okay, am I reading the first question? I believe I am.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. All the space in between episode 100 and whatever. Gone sexual, gone wrong, gone cringe. Hardest one yet.
I'm the hardest one yet.
Don't start this.
Sorry. All the space in between. Hardest one wet. YouTube challenge.
This is enough.
Can you watch it without nutting?
We're gonna get demonetized.
On YouTube.
We're not monetized.
We make a lot of money on YouTube. Yeah.
We're not monetized.
We don't ever talk about that, but yeah. There's a lot of
rich,
sponsors in this podcast. Shout outs one more time to Sherry's Berries. For what?
Berries.com.
Berries.com, of course. Hold on. As you get up that question, I'm going to look to see if
I've already got it up.
Sorry.
I came prepared.
I'm just going to Yeah, it is. It's Sherry's Berries. I should probably stop saying the name of the company, lest we get in trouble.
In trouble.
Because I do need to make it very clear that they are not our sponsor.
No, and they might not want to be associated with such a horny little episode.
Yeah, not this one. Though, I would argue that they're probably hurting for money now that Valentine's Day has passed.
Mm.
And chocolate-covered strawberries is the horniest dinner.
It's not a dinner.
Yes, it is. If you eat enough of it, of course it is.
Not a meal,
Imagine I take you to dinner. And lift up the thing, lift up the little, what is it? The little reveal,
dinner
the
plate
little,
thing.
you have been chopped shit, I lift that shit up, right?
Yeah.
And there's
the platter.
There's just chocolate-covered strawberries on it. And you think,
That's it?
This is normal at this point, right? Look at this.
Okay,
Because you're like,
all right.
oh, okay. And you eat it. And we keep eating it. So you stop. I go, oh, you full already? You've only had 2.
You don't eat these until you're full.
I'm having 12 of them for sure.
You're having heartburn is what you're getting. Strawberries and chocolate? You're for sure getting heartburn.
It's acidic, it's chocolatey, it's not good for me. But that's when you have to like burp me the whole night. You have to hold me like a baby and you have to pat my back.
Yeah.
And burp and fart me because I've had too many chocolate covered strawberries.
I do have to do that sometimes, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I haven't been burped or farted in like 9 months now because you've been gone.
Well, yeah, I mean the listeners can't tell, but when I'm looking at you on camera right now, you look like like Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka.
I'm bloated,
Yeah, from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He's just
gonna blow, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm rolling around the room.
Or in Shrek when they get a fish and blow it up is it a fish? They blow up some kind of animal like a balloon.
Oh, they do, don't they? Don't they?
Yeah.
Don't they?
You look like that.
That's fine.
Your legs are the string.
Will you read the fucking question before we have an unlistenable episode, please? Give me something to edit. I know that Mitch is listening to this right now saying, I'm bored. Give me something to edit.
I'm bored. God, I hope they clap or
I want to put in background music and I want to put on some reverb. I want to create a bus channel right now real bad, probably. So please read the question.
Okay. This one, our first question of the episode, our start question, is called conundrum. Conundrum.
Imagine conundrum, but with the word condom kind of forcefully shoehorned in there. Conundrum.
And it goes, hey y'all, I've got a salty, less than savory pickle for your Valentine's evening. I went to the rodeo with a cowboy I met for the first time, and after the second round of horsing around, we couldn't find the pickle pouch. I told him not to worry about it, that I would find it somewhere in the room. Well, I cleaned the premises today and it was nowhere to be found. Turns out, it was inside me. And yellow, gasp, so I galloped over to CVS on this fine Valentine's evening to make a plan B. I want to go to the rodeo again with him, but I don't know what to reveal about the situation. On top of this, I have to put in my 2 weeks for this city. I'm moving from one western state to the next. What do I tell him about the conundrum and the move, and does yellow only mean one thing? Sincerely, a hot mess of a listener.
Okay.
To
not sugarcoat it, as they did, with all this cowboy talk.
It was a metaphor, a simile.
You've tantalized me. Explain more.
It was imagery. Ever heard of it?
No. I'd love for you to explain it to me.
It's when you say one thing is like another thing or is another thing.
That's making my mind light up right now.
Yeah, well, some people like to use it in like poetry, I guess.
I'm gonna give that a shot in some of my work.
Yeah.
So I could say this bottle of water here.
Yeah.
This is a podcast.
This is a podcast?
You're telling me that this
is the podcast?
Bottle of Evian?
No,
this is Joe Rogan?
Sponsor.
You're telling me this is Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan also not a sponsor.
It can't be. It's a water bottle. So how the fuck is that imagery?
Stop.
Okay, go on.
All right. You were saying so. Okay, so not to sugarcoat it.
Oh, yeah. Was I saying something?
Yeah.
Carry forth. You were in the middle of a thought, you broken-brained man. I can't believe that you have a podcast with listeners even. I was saying, as a recap, this person had sex, protected, congrats. What? Think you're better than me? Having sex? I haven't gone to the rodeo in 9 months.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I haven't had protected sex in 15 years. This person had sex. Condom got lost in them.
Yeah.
They were like, it's probably just around the room somewhere.
When they said that they couldn't find the pickle pouch, which is the condom.
The condom.
I assumed they meant beforehand.
Me too.
Before the act.
Me too.
I thought
they were like, I can't find it. Yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'll look for it. And then.
Yeah, but no, it post coitus they couldn't find it.
2 weeks later, they coughed it up.
I find it very interesting that they didn't give a time frame for this.
Yeah.
It has to be It has to be within 72 hours because they got Plan B, but we don't know how long it was in there.
It was in there for a while. I could tell by the tone of the email, by how they were typing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's what I want to say. So they're like, okay, how do I tell him that I'm going to move? How do I tell him about the condom thing? And does yellow only mean one thing?
That confuses me too.
What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean? So you pulled the condom out and the condom was yellow?
The condom was it? The contents? What is this?
Do they?
With me?
Yes.
Was it a water balloon filled with pee?
Did he, as a joke, did he put that in you?
What's he Googling?
I don't want to tell you.
Oh my god, okay.
I don't want to tell you what I'm Googling.
I'm so afraid.
I feel like the person is asking, does yellow only mean one thing, because they think that it's piss related. To be quite frank with you, perhaps too frank, I seem to have this ancient memory that...
I'm so afraid of what you're going to say next.
I think cum turns yellow eventually.
Stop saying
I think it does. I think I have an ancient. So I was just googling if semen turns yellow over an amount of time, because that would make sense. It was in them for. I mean, yeah, they say right here 2 weeks.
Oh my god.
I just have this something in me just now was like
I'm listening to.
It changes color. Maybe it oxidizes.
You ever see that thing? Okay, I'm getting onto some. I feel like we're gonna need to put a trigger warning on this episode.
It's pretty bad, yeah.
You ever see that thing of the jar on Reddit and don't bring
that up. What the fuck?
The pony in the jar.
Yes, and like it was this like brony that was just continually coming into the same jar over and over again.
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen it, unfortunately. Don't Google it, by the way.
Don't Google it.
It's gross.
Okay, I know that I've seen it. Because I remember seeing it and the reaction that I had. What I don't remember at all is how it looked. I've successfully completely put up a wall in front of that in my brain.
Huh.
I don't remember how it looked, and I'm not going to look it up to remind myself. My brain did a good job of blogging it out, and I don't remember what it looked like. But here's my question to you. Was it yellow?
I don't remember.
God damn.
I don't remember at all.
I guess we'll never know.
But I'm letting you know that I did Google it just now. Not the brony thing, but I just I just unfortunately Googled the words "cum turning yellow." Just says,
Am I sick or dying?
Call 911. You're turning into a Simpson.
You got Simpsons disease.
There's a Reddit post from 2015 that says,
jaundiced as fuck.
Your jaundice is all hell, my guy, and you need to get a shot of medication right now. There's a Reddit post from 2015 that says, why does cum turn yellow with time?
Oh god.
On the subreddit No Stupid Questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. It says, why does cum turn yellow with time? And then it says, here's a reference picture that I am not going to click.
Don't do it.
Top comment from 6 years ago just says, I need to take a fucking shower just by looking at that.
Okay. So not helpful.
Another person says, I have no words. What the fuck, man?
Not helpful.
And the only helpful response saying, I'm pretty sure it's a chemical reaction involving oxygen. Like how I said how it oxidizes. Remember I said that?
Like an apple turns brown.
Whoa, it literally just says like an apple turns brown. Are you reading this?
No.
You're reading this.
I'm not reading it. You would have heard me type.
The very next sentence is like how apples turn brown.
I typed that comment 6 years
ago.
Are
you? Your deleted post?
I just remembered that.
Your deleted user?
I didn't delete my Reddit account. Maybe I typed this and forgot.
Anyway, like how apples turn brown if you slice them and leave them out in the open. That, or the yellow is the color of some of the liquids in the seam. I think I'm going to stop reading.
Actually, that's quite enough information, I think.
My best guess was that if this thing was yellow, that's the... I don't care that it was yellow. That's my opinion. My opinion is that I don't care. If you haven't gotten some weird infection by now, it was probably fine.
Yeah,
is the question, are you going to tell this person that you're leaving? Or are you going to tell them about the condom?
Yeah, I don't... Well, they say they want to fuck again. So, well, go to the rodeo. Sorry, excuse me. They want to go to the rodeo for one last ride.
I'd say put the thing back in you. And just let them find it, you know? Let it be his problem, you know?
Oh my god.
I'd put that thing back and say no touchies, you know?
Oh my god.
I'd say, hey, you found it. It's your responsibility.
Finders keepers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Put a fucking nickel in it. Really luck. Scare him. Yeah, scare him. Like, did you come a nickel? That's insane. It can't be. And his hands start shaking. And he goes, why am I coming nickels?
Why aren't I noticing?
This must be the nickel I ate 10 years ago. I accidentally swallowed a nickel. Yeah, I wouldn't tell him about the condom.
Why would you? Unless you're going to get into... Yes, that's that's a great point. Well, what I was going to say is unless you're planning on getting into a relationship with this person, in which case I think it's funny, so I'd tell them to check if they think it's funny to see if you're compatible humor-wise, if you both think that's funny. But if you're just gonna do one more fuck and then move to another city, there's no need.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just be, he'll be like, oh, do you ever find that condom? And you'll be like, yeah, in a normal place.
Yeah,
and he'll
totally.
say where, and you're like, don't worry about it, somewhere normal.
Yeah.
Somewhere normal.
This is going to sound, it was in my hand the whole time. I was walking around the room. Where is it? Next thing I know, I'm at work.
Like I when you have your, it's in my hand. You have your glasses on your head.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they were at the top of my head though. It was at the top of my head the whole time, yeah.
It's weird that you didn't notice, but...
Yeah, strange.
Okay. I think we've... some would say too thoroughly answered this question.
We squeezed out too much content from this question.
Some would say we went into too much detail in this question.
I mean, brass tacks, I regret it. At the end of the day, this is my podcast. I'm allowed to say whether or not I think that was good or not. That was bad.
Well, most of our podcast is the thing. Most of it is just a living train wreck. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Would you like... Oh my god, look, he's getting the Evian, not a sponsor, out again.
You telling me this is Joe Rogan?
No.
This is the Roguester?
No.
It's... Okay.
Don't say his name a third time. I keep telling you that.
It'll appear, yeah.
I told you that on episode 1, and I have to keep reminding you not to do it.
Okay, it's me.
It is you.
I gotta close this awful incognito tab.
I'm glad that you went incognito for that. Of
course. I'm not just going to be like screen sharing with a friend later and it's going to come turning yellow. I'm going to be like, are you okay?
Do I seem okay?
I go, clearly I just have a podcast. Okay? No, they're not going to understand. Of course they're not going to understand. Moving on. This question is called Help. My cousin has the hots for my little sister.
Oh.
And it says... Hello, beautiful people. Love the podcast and the art you both create. Been a Flat Sound listener since Tumblr, and I love Billy's photography. But I'm writing in today with an incestuous pickle. Ready or not, here we go. My little sister just had her 25th birthday, age for context, and during dinner she was acting weird and grossed out by some text she was receiving, and as the protective big sister I am, I asked what was going on. She slowly revealed to me that my oldest cousin, 39, had been texting her some stuff about his pickle. Naturally, I pressed her about this, and she said that he had hit on her, sent a picture of his pickle, which she said had a Prince Albert, confirmed by my aunt years ago when he got it, and flames tattooed on it.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm just going to stop it there. That's funny because, like, he can never deny that it's him, you know?
It's
He's
very
got a Prince Albert
identifiable.
in flames on his...
You could pick that out of a lineup, sure.
No, that wasn't me. No, it's you. It's definitely you.
Definitely you, dude.
All right. Going back into it. He also has been saying things like, if you came to visit, you would... if you came to visit me, you would move up here, and if we got together, the family would come to terms with it. We wouldn't. And that since it wasn't blood, that it was fine. We are both adopted. She isn't the confrontational type at all, and she's been trying to build a relationship, not the weird kind, with our cousins lately, which is why I think she hasn't just completely blocked him. He is also going through his second divorce, so maybe he is just messed up right now, but either way, this is weird and wrong on so many levels. What the fuck do I do? Do I message him and tell him to keep... This part's funny. Do I message him and tell him to keep his Guy Fieri cock out of my sister's inbox? If I do that, my sister might be mad that I revealed that I know. I can't reach out to anyone on his side of the family. And my sister has told me I am not allowed to tell mom. The age thing also adds to the creepiness for me. It wouldn't bother me if he wasn't also her cousin, but both, please, for fuck's sake, help me, this person's name.
God damn, what a fucking email.
I think this is just me.
Yeah.
You're fully allowed to disagree, but I
Okay.
think there's a round of applause for a pretty good email.
All right.
That's
okay.
a pretty good email right there.
I mean, a terrible situation, obviously.
Absolutely.
But a hell of an email. Just a wild wide from start to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm going to let you take the floor here.
Okay, well, first of all, first thing that we have to say, I love that your younger sister just turned 25.
That's cool.
Meaning
to
you
me.
are older than 25.
Hell yeah.
Which means you're automatically our friend.
I have a younger sister that's 25.
I have a younger brother that's 25.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think. I'm going to feel bad if I was wrong about that.
Whatever. He'll go
But I
over
will
it.
be banning all of my family members from listening to this episode.
This
because we've
episode
already
is
said come so many times.
Too many times.
So,
I really
way
hope
too
your
many
mother's not
times.
still listening to the podcast. If she is, I'm so very sorry.
I was on the phone to her earlier and she said that she was listening to our podcast and usually she just turns it off if she starts hearing anything bad, but she said
As
that
she
her
should.
phone was across the room.
Oh,
and she
no.
couldn't get to it on time and
Oh.
she said that she heard you say the word dong and it was terrible.
Wait, I said the word dong?
I don't remember.
D-O-N-G?
Apparently so.
Dong.
It doesn't seem like you, but
I don't remember saying...
sometimes you get wild when we're on the podcast.
It's true. I black out when we record, so I might have said the word dong, and in which case...
I go into a fugue state.
Yeah, formerly Debster, I do apologize. I hope you'll still allow me to court your daughter.
Oh my god.
Because you shouldn't have to listen to me say dong. It's very, very cool that she's like cool enough to even want to listen to our podcast. I tell family members I have a podcast all the time and they're just like, what's that? You know? And then they don't pursue it any further than that. So they don't ever listen.
Yeah. It's like, it's me talking. Like, okay,
I'm hearing you talk now
I'm
and I
good.
don't like
Yeah.
it. So why would I? Yeah, that's just bad.
Okay, so, first of all, I just love your age in general. That's a good start. But, okay. The Guy Fieri cock. This goes in so many levels. So, okay, this guy is, first of all, about 15 years older than your sister. He's, second of all, your cousin, not by blood, but still by family.
Mm-hmm.
Still by family. He is your cousin. You have a cousin-type relationship. He's going through his second divorce, and he has a Guy Fieri dick with a Prince Albert and flames tattooed on it.
Yeah. All of those things added up.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of things. I feel any one of those things is like a deal breaker for most people.
Right. Having all of them together.
Any one of them. But all of them together
is pretty bad.
Unfathomably bad combination. Like, you know, you get some people that are like, well, I kind of like a Guy Fieri cock. Well, I kind of like someone who's 15 years older than me. Like, you know, whatever. But all those things together.
I kind of like my cousin. Is that what you're saying right now?
That's not one.
Sounds like that's what you were saying. Part of this is fine individually.
Well, if I'm adopted, you know.
Yeah, okay. Now it's actually a little hot. No, look, for me, the bottom line is that she doesn't see... If the justification, and it's not for me to look past, it's not for me to be like, well, I think this or that. If your sister at 25 is making decisions like, you know what? The age doesn't bother me. You know what? He's not really my cousin. You know what? I like his weird cock. If all of those things made sense and she was happy, I'd say let people pursue what they do. Don't stand in the way of that unless... But this is what we're dealing with now is an unsolicited dick pic. And on top of that, the dick doesn't even sound good. It sounds like a weird...
It sounds weird.
It sounds like a weird dick pic from your cousin who's much older than you. So it doesn't seem like your sister's too into it. That super sucks.
Yeah, just unwanted dick pics is like, and then unwanted advances from someone that you particularly don't want them from because it's just a fucking weird dynamic at all. I love that this reader, by the way, they're like, oh, he says like, well, if we got together, the family would come to terms with it, and the listener is just like, as a member of the family, let me just say,
I'd like to say it formally,
that we would not come to terms with it.
Wouldn't. So
we would not be
jot that down. Yeah.
Jot that down? No, we wouldn't.
Just for his own. Yeah. No, I'm here speaking up, and we would not.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. But what do you... Yeah, I mean, I would want to be straight up in this person's inbox. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, get the fuck away.
Weird self. Get away from this.
I think I might have actual advice. I think I just had an idea.
Oh my God.
I think I just created imagery.
The light bulb's going off. Share.
I closed my eyes and there was an imagery in my head.
Okay.
I'm describing a thought. Okay. What if? You confront the cousin, but you don't say that your sister showed you. Just say, I glanced at her phone while you two were texting, and I saw this, or I looked. If you want to be the bad person here, you can even just say, I looked through. I looked through her phone and I saw this, and I don't think it's appropriate. But do you this is already sounding like a bad idea, actually, because then he's just going to think that the older sister is the only reason that they're not together.
I'm like, she's standing in the way.
Exactly. He's going to make him want it more. You think you're getting dick pics now? Fuck. Guy's gonna go nuts.
Or a terrible turn of events. He might, know that you've seen it and be like, oh, well, did you like what you see?
Ooh,
that
yeah.
would also be bad. I don't know. This guy just seems like a wild card. There's no predicting what he's going to do.
Second divorce, flame tattoo dick, Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Who knows?
One of my exes had a tattooed dick.
Didn't you also date someone with a Prince Albert? No?
No.
Huh.
I've known people who gave themselves Prince Albert.
That seems dangerous.
It's terrible. Yeah. No, it was really bad.
I feel like if I just... Who gives themselves a Prince Albert? What the fuck? How brave do you have to...
It's not brave. It's pure stupidity is what it is. It's not bravery.
I feel like I would do that and just... I would poke the needle through and just be like, and then not be able to taste ever again, you know? Like, I don't know why. It just seems like all those nerve endings in my dick would not...
Something would go wrong.
Something would just go wrong there, and I just
something would happen.
Couldn't ever.
I wouldn't be able to move one of my toes ever again.
Exactly, it's done. That thing's done. I cannot taste, and I can't move my big toe.
Yeah.
Like, why did I do that? It doesn't look bad, but with some flame tattoos, it might look actually kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps.
Okay. What should this person do?
Well, if you don't want to, I would want to reach out to the guy personally. But if you're like,
doesn't
well,
seem
that
like an
might be
option.
that might upset my sister. I can't just tell my mom. I would with your sister, both of you, like you sitting next to her, like draft a response telling him how to fuck off. You know.
That's what I was gonna say too. I would really double down on the sister and just be like, look, if you don't like this, I'd even mock her a little bit. I'd be like, you must love this shit.
But
huh? Oh, you want to fuck your cousin? Yeah, that's on you if you want to fuck cousin Jim.
Goad her into being like, no.
I don't. It's like, then let's draft the fucking text.
Yeah, because if she's not confrontational, she's probably going to find it quite hard to be like, this is totally inappropriate, you know? Like, so if you are the confrontational type, I think you need to help her confront it.
Maybe meet in the middle of somewhere and just draft a text that essentially says like, hey, I'm not really comfortable with, and I'm also not interested in anything like this. I know that we're adopted. I know that we're not really cousins. I just am just, in the most polite way possible, your cock is gross. Yeah.
Just be like, okay, like, for, you know, okay, we're not blood. Okay, the family might come to terms with it. First of all, both those things are completely irrelevant. Most of all, you've got just a disgusting
It's a
cock.
it's a putrid weenie is what you have. Yeah, it's quite the putrid little shaft that you've been showing me, and I don't like it. We are not blood.
No.
But I manage to see blood red every time you send me a picture of your dick or talk about it in any way.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
This is terrible. I hate this situation. You're just having a birthday dinner. You're trying to enjoy a birthday dinner. And this guy's texting you this shit.
sweetie.
Get
I'm
away.
your cousin, by the way.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm 40.
Oh my god. Oh my, it's like, sorry. I just, you know, I'm still trying to get over Stephanie.
Stephanie left me. Couldn't imagine why. She's the second to leave me. Gee, dude, I don't know. Maybe because you hit on your cousins.
You could be the lucky third ex-wife.
Yeah, look at that. And a cousin. So that would be... Fuck. But don't worry. The family will come to terms with it.
Oh my god.
Can I bring up how her aunt, a.k.a. his mom, knew that he had a Prince Albert?
How?
How did the mom know? This guy's 35 years old. He gets a Prince Albert and tells mommy.
This is terrible.
My mom and I have a phone call probably 2-3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't find me running out of things to talk about enough to bring up my cock. You know? I'd make something up. I'd be like, yeah, no, not that.
No,
how does your aunt know?
I don't know. I
don't like that.
Yeah, I think you and your sister have to team up. You have to help her be assertive and set some boundaries, set some very, very clear boundaries of being like, no, not at all, and also not ever.
Yeah. The things that this guy is doing, they're very clearly crossing a line, and I'm very anti unsolicited dick pics or anything like that. If it's making her uncomfortable, please step in somehow and do something. Even just talk to your sister, something like that.
Yeah, but she cannot be left to fend for herself in this situation. So I'm glad that she has you. At least.
A protective older sister, and I'm glad that she even if she was a little bit hesitant, she felt comfortable enough to reveal to you that this was happening. Because now you know.
Yeah,
and that's horrible. That is happening. It's bad. I can't say it's good.
So sorry.
And that's good. Like, no, it's a tragedy.
It's bad, but it's,
And I wish it weren't happening.
Yeah, but this is perhaps the first step to you helping it not happen. So there we go. Yeah.
That's all I got. Plus, God, the time.
Oh, well, let's not mention the time. Let's not talk about the time.
The last question's kind of long. Are we still jumping into it?
I don't know. It's nearly 5 a.m. for me.
It's nearly 5 a.m. for you.
I can't make the decision. You have to do it.
I say fuck it, let's do it.
Alright, cool. You want me to read it?
I would love for you to read it.
Okay. This one is called I Need Help Feeling Validated as an Artist. But swift change of tone here.
Yeah.
Absolutely swift change of tone, but that's what you get with this show. And it goes, coming at you with an art pickle as opposed to my prior lying to my boyfriend pickle. Yes, this is someone who's written into the show before.
Not that long ago either.
Not that long ago, no. They previously lied to their boyfriend about having watched a show that he loved.
That was it, yes. They pretended that they had seen a show. They mentioned it like really early in the relationship. They're like, oh, I love that show. And they were like, this is one of my favorite things in the world. And the boyfriend talked to them about it like constantly. And they were like, what do I do? I've never seen the show. And he's always trying to bring up the show. So
yes.
We got a liar and a cheater here. We're going to try and help them again.
So it says, 3 years ago, I created my blood infections art page. I was really involved with the art community in the niche we were in. 2 years ago, I was doing really well selling art to people, getting commissions with my photography. I even made cover art for a really cool singer who paid me double what I offered. In recent years, I've been a lot less active, mainly because social media has taken a toll on my art. I was constantly producing similar pieces of art and posting once every 2 days just to keep my like count up and not to slip under the waves of the algorithm. Now, I'm starting to sell my art again, posting a lot less frequently, but posting more meaningful, thought-out pieces. In the past 3 months, I've created 2 zines that I'm super happy with. I put so much time and effort into my craft, the layout, different printing services, even down to which colour thread I should stitch them with. But I've had no one interested in them, and it's knocking my motivation to make more art. I grew up with the mindset that you should turn your craft into a way to make more money, and while I agree, it also makes me feel like I'm wasting my time and money on things that I'll never make my money back on, and that maybe I should be spending my time like, I don't know, looking for a job, lol. So I guess the shortened version of my question to you two is, how do you feel validated as an artist when no one supports your art? My tarot cards tell me to get a grip and keep at it, but it's really not that easy, LMAO. P.S. Billy, I'm thoroughly in love with your split zine, and my Blossom sticker resides inside the lid of my film canister box. Mitch, don't ask why, I've been listening to Waking Up Early to Leave This Place on repeat the past few days because the scream transition into the harsh guitar makes me feel things I didn't know I could feel. Also, here's my babies, and then a couple of pictures of the zines that this person's made.
Are we including those?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Okay. Gonna put them right here in the YouTube video.
Stick them in. Let's have a quick look.
There you go.
They look great.
They do look great.
Wonderful.
But before I forget, I'm gonna take it off of the music video. Our music video is gonna start airing right now. Billy and I filmed a video. I can't believe here it is. It's gone now. On the YouTube video. And it's also gonna be on the website if you would rather do that. allthespaceintween.com to check out this photo that we're looking at right now.
Yes. Okay, so this is well, first of all, very cool that you're making zines. I'm very familiar with the amount of effort it takes to make a zine. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. Obviously I spend like most of my time doing, editing photos, doing the layout, picking the thread, stitching all the stitching, the shoulder raise that you get from the stitching. Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
I'm saying like I know. I'm just girl, preach. Not me. No, I don't know that at all. I don't know that pain. I know separate pain.
Different pains, different art pains. Yeah. Okay, so the question is basically, I haven't got much attention on them yet. What do I do? Right.
I want to start off by saying that when they talked before that they were in recent years they have been a lot less active, mainly because social media was taking a toll on their art, and they were constantly producing similar pieces of art and posting once every 2 days to keep their like count up and not slip under the waves of the algorithm. Mm-hmm. If I remember that correctly. No, I'm kidding. I was reading it. That was like word for word. I think that's what they said. I just have a beautiful brain.
A random Rain Man moment.
Where I remembered that paragraph. Oops, sorry. I dropped
nothing else any of the time.
I dropped a bunch of toothpicks, which is 87 of them, by the way. No, I think that was actually very smart of you. Because that's, you're playing to the algorithm. That's how you grow on these social media platforms. I'm assuming you didn't do anything. Hopefully you did something and your engagement is now up. But now the problem is that they've put out some stuff and they kind of feel like nobody wants it right now. Mm-hmm. Let me reassure you that in many points in my career, even to this day, I will work hard on something and it falls flat. It seems like, none of y'all want this, huh? I thought I saved your life or whatever, but you guys don't want this new shit, huh?
Yeah, I guess you'll like, give a shit, that's fine.
It happens less now, but it still happens to me. And in the past, it happened pretty frequently. Sometimes something hits. Sometimes it doesn't. I would release, I remember one thing as an example. It was the first time that I did, what are they? Buttons, what's the actual call? Pins. Yeah. Not like a nice enamel pin or anything like that. Not a lapel pin, just pins. And I got them made, and I made them in a very specific way where they came in like a nice packaged thing that had my logo on it and everything. This was years ago on Tumblr. And it was the first time I ever did anything like that. And I thought, these are going to sell like crazy. These are gonna go so hard online, man. I might have to put a few aside just to give to friends because these are gonna be. And no one fucking wanted them shits. Like no one. I had to make 7 different posts to get like 3 sales. They weren't expensive or anything. Nobody fucking wanted them.
I know you didn't sell out because you gave me one like not that long. Like you just found one rattling around your house.
Really?
Years later and gave me one. You're like, oh look, it's this pin that sold like shit.
That's so funny. Yeah. Sometimes that just happens. Don't let it derail you. That's just how like making art or making anything online works. You don't really know. But Billy and I took a cursory glance at your social media, right?
Yes.
This is this person. Yeah. And unless you wanted to say anything relating to what I was saying, or you had anything to chime in on, I wanted to get into some notes that we have for this person.
Yeah, you thought that we could actually give some like practical type tips, right? Instead of just being like, keep on going.
It's hard. No, we have some actual tips for you.
Yeah, I think so. Let's do that. Let's give some actual advice because this is probably helpful to other people also.
Okay. Yeah. A very common thing that I'll see is that people aren't making it easy enough to get their work, to get what they want to sell people, to get what they want even people to look at. It needs to be, think of the easiest thing that you can imagine. Make it so simple, and it has to be easier than that.
Yeah.
A common thing that I'll see on Instagram a lot is that people will just say, hey, everyone, I got this new whatever, and post the link to it in their comment or in their
caption.
Caption, thank you so much. In a comment or in a caption, but those are not hyperlinks. And I will only ever do that when it's like flatsound.org/shop or flatsound.org. And then and the only reason I'm doing that is because I can't use link in bio anymore because the link in my bio is linking somewhere else. So I'll just go visit the Flat Sound shop or something like that. Give a place for people to go. But even that, nobody's going based off of that.
No.
If they can't click it immediately, they will not pursue clicking it. And I see many like larger artists or people smaller than me or just anybody that knows about social media or doesn't know about social media or is on social media or not very active. The biggest mistake that they're making is that they're not making it easy enough for people to access their stuff, because I'll see captions that are literally like, did a new thing. It's http : it's this is the website dash podcast / a long date dash this thing dot html. And I go, literally not a single person is typing that in. And no. I'm pretty sure that in captions, you can't even copy text, right?
No.
Like from a phone, right?
I don't think so.
Then virtually nobody is going there.
Yeah, here's the thing. And this person wasn't doing that, by the way. They didn't have the hyperlink in bio thing. I believe
my thing is that make it much easier for people to access your thing.
Yeah,
because a lot of people are doing the thing I just talked about.
Yeah.
Many of them. God, I just saw ABK, who's a Juggalo rapper, was just like, hey, everyone, thanks for everything. Make sure to check out this long link. And I'm like, oh, anybody kill it. Why? Why would you do that? Why is nobody why is nobody helping you with this? Like, this is, come on.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, God. My brain's
sorry.
fucking gone now. What was I going to say?
You were saying how I wasn't using that as an example. This person wasn't,
Yeah. So what this person was doing is they would just like DM me to buy one kind of thing. That even like you cannot. There's no way to underestimate how lazy people on the internet are and how short their attention spans are.
They're here and then they're gone and they won't do anything. They won't do anything. Even
like, okay, if you have a link someone has to copy and paste, these are all the steps that you have to get them to do is go to the website and buy the thing. Those are the things you want them to do. But the steps that they actually have to do is copy that or memorize it, exit Instagram, go to Chrome, paste that link, press enter, add it to their cart, put in their payment details, blah, blah. And each one of those steps is a step where someone will go, fuck it.
Yeah.
I don't want it that much. And that step for a lot of people will be between copying it and pasting it.
Yes, most of them will cut off then.
That they might open the DMs to you and then be like, I don't really want to write a message. That's literally the threshold.
Yeah,
that is
how do I ask for one?
That's how thin the threshold is for the amount of work people are willing to do to buy something. It's nothing. They want to do no work at all. Like, people even having to message you will put them off. It's having to click more than 3 times will put them off. It's ridiculous.
In online marketing, that's called the funnel. The funnel is really interesting because let's say I would post a tweet. I would never do that again. But let's say in the past, a mistake of mine is that I would post tweets. And sometimes those tweets would say, hey, there's a new thing I want you to buy, right? Let's say, what is it, like 10,000, 20,000 people saw that tweet. Only about 400 people liked it, interacted with it in some way, right? And then of that, only about 200 people clicked the link. No, actually, it's much different than that. Of the people that liked it, there's more people that clicked the link that didn't like it because they saw it. So, okay, let's say from that 10,000 people saw it, but only 5,000 people clicked that link. Those are great numbers still. But how many people clicked from the shop page to look at the product you were trying to sell? Now that drops off to about 2,000. And how many people added that to their cart? 400? And how many people bought one? 100. You started at 10,000.
Yeah.
In fact, you started at 5,000. You got them on your site. 5,000 fucking people. You'd be blown away by how many people actually see your content and aren't interacting with it in any way or doing the things that you say. Very little people will do what you want them to do on social media, especially if it takes any bit of effort. And they call that the funnel because every time it goes down a step, you lose like half of those people.
Yeah, each step is a step where you're losing people, so you have to try and make the steps as little
as little steps as possible. It's just the funnel.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It really is. But like, I'll do the same thing though. Like, I think it's stupid when I see other people doing it. I'm like, damn, you really got all the way to the cart, and then we're like, nah, I can't bother to put my credit details in. But I also do it because that's just what humans do. They're flaky, you know. So basically, our advice boils down for this section. Our advice boils down to put the link in your bio. Make it like just make it very easy to do. Make it a one-step thing where they're like, I've paid for it and I'm getting it. Right. You know, which leads to our second thing, which is if you're selling any kind of art, having some kind of online marketplace makes it much easier to do.
They had mentioned in their previous email that they were staying somewhere. They were staying in a hostel.
I think so, yeah.
If we had even discussed this, before the episode, we shouldn't just give advice that says like, well, simply buy a domain and a website.
Simply pay for a Squarespace.
Why it's only $200 a year, it's a lot of money,
Yeah.
Big cartels are free.
Etsy's are also free.
Etsy's also free.
You can sell stuff like zines on Etsy's. You don't need like your own domain necessarily, but just having some kind of storefront like Etsy will take a percentage, obviously, so you need to figure out your profit margin, but just somewhere that like is just some kind of setup people are familiar with, where they just add to cart, put their address in. They don't have to do any kind of
socializing. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, because people hate doing that. People are just anxious. They're anxious and lazy.
They don't want to make phone calls.
Other.
They don't want to reach out to somebody. They don't want to do anything like that. Something that I buy can be like 4 weeks late, and I'm over here just like, I can't be bothered to send an email about it. It'll probably show up. You know, like I don't want to call. I don't want to call. You know, most people are like that.
Yeah.
Make it easy for them. Make it so easy for them.
Yeah. You don't have to have like a vanity URL and a whole website and a shop and stuff. But if you're selling something physical, then getting a storefront is really a good idea, I think. Because people are just much more... I think it weirdly makes people more inclined to buy it as well, because they see it as more something worth buying if it's set up as an buyable item, you know, if that makes sense. Yeah, they see it as more of a purchasable thing, like it's more valid to spend money on, which again is stupid. It's all stupid, but it's just how people work, you know. Yeah,
I was on their Instagram, and it's for sure, it's absolutely great that they had a link in their bio and it was to a GoFundMe. Awesome. Really, really good. But if your latest post is trying to push your product, that has to be the link in your bio. Yeah, that's how Instagram works. It has to be the link in your bio. And not saying you shouldn't do GoFundMes, not saying you shouldn't post stories about that thing that you're passionate about, not saying, the people will view that story. You can share a post on your story about the GoFundMe or about the thing. But the link in your bio, if you're pushing a product, has to be directly how to get that product. Yeah, people will fall off dramatically. And I have a link tree in my bio that goes to like my website and then my Patreon and then like the podcast. I don't even prefer having that. Like, I was going to say, even a link tree drops people off because it's a step. Exactly. I don't even like having that extra step, because I know some people just click on the link tree and then they'd like, I can't bother to click again. Totally. It's just how it works. So usually when I'm like actively promoting my Patreon, I'll just change the link to my Patreon. You have to have that day that I put the post up. Click. Yeah. Yeah. People on Twitter do, they do this all the time. I would see it all of the time. A tweet blows up and they say, you should follow me on Instagram. And then they just type it out. Like, share the link. Make people click it. I'm not going to swap apps and then type it in, my guy. I don't care that much. Apps? You're making the funnel drop off so dramatically. It's going to drop off no matter what. Why did you make it so astronomical, like such a giant dip? If you made it hard for people. People do that all the time. So I don't know why people do it, but for some reason, just about everybody does. But one of the most useful things you can do is not make it at all remotely difficult for people, because I can go on forever with just the amount that people don't want to do things themselves online. Maybe it's a result of social media or scrolling or having content in front of you all the time. God, the amount of times that I'm just trying to be in a good mood. Hey, everyone, my new I'll say like this new thing that I put out is on Spotify. And I'll always get people to the point where I'll just like delete the comments sometimes because I just feel embarrassed for myself and them. But they'll say stuff like, oh, is it ever going to be on Apple Music? And I go, it is on Apple Music. Why didn't you check? Why would you rather type to me that says, well, is it ever going to be on instead of just going to Apple Music and going and looking? Why didn't you check if it's your main thing? If it's the product. I just said Spotify because everybody uses Spotify. That's where I get most of my money. I get fucking almost nothing off Apple Music, so statistically, a lot less people use it. But why didn't you check? And it's because people online will not do it. They expect you to do it. They hate it. They want you to do everything for them. You have to do as much for them as possible. And you have to. You have to. I miss out on a lot of sales just because I refuse to respond to DMs that I'm just like, I know that there's a simple answer out there. And I just don't want to work customer service. I just don't want to be like, oh yeah, let me just get that link for you. By the way, it's my latest post, but yeah, no, it's No, totally. It's all of this is explained in the thing. I'm sure I lose out on many sales just because I don't answer DMs like that. But those are sales. I should for sure. I should.
Yeah. I mean, if smaller people do because they have to, obviously. Yeah.
But moving on from that to how do you feel validated as an artist when no one supports your art? This is a broader, more like vague question, and it doesn't have here's a tip for it. There's no here's a tip advice for that.
No, there's not an easy answer to this. There's something to be said for just making art for yourself, but realistically, most artists don't make art solely for themselves. That sounds very noble and very honorable, and just I'm just making it for me. I don't have to show anyone. But realistically, artists love to show other people because they want to feel some kind of connection. They want to know that other people feel that way, that it resonates with someone. So. Although there's plenty of art that I don't share that I make. Not necessarily even out of personal choice, where I'm like, this is a secret just for me, but just because I'm very unorganized.
Right.
I just don't get around to sharing a lot of stuff. But the sense of validation, I think, if you're looking for outside validation, you're not getting it from people necessarily supporting your art monetarily. I would probably work on trying to integrate yourselves into some kind of community.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Art, to do with that kind of art.
That's precisely what I was going to say.
There is I'm in a Discord that's got a fucking lot of members in it, and it's super active, and people are really friendly in there. That is solely about zines.
You didn't tell me that.
I did actually.
Who is it?
It's Julia Grafora, who you will know because we bought one of her shirts that had a cool skeleton on it.
I'll join right now. I'm joining right now. Sorry. I'm not a part of zines. I just want to keep an eye on you.
I'm not that active, but because people who do photo zines are actually in the minority of zine makers. Most zine makers are illustrators, writers, comic book artists, stuff like that. Activists, anarchists. A lot of zines are just diaries. Photo zines actually make up quite a small percentage of that. There's not many photographers in there, but there's a whole lot of people that are very just passionate about just small art, and they have a lot of tips, and they're just really really and that is a very good kind of place to do that. Or I don't know if you're on Twitter, but there are numerous accounts that are just called zines, and if you at them in your posts about zines, they'll retweet you. And then there are zine libraries that if you send them a couple copies of your zine, they'll keep it in their zine library, and that's cool. And you start just cool. Build it. Zines in particular, people in that scene are very into supporting two ways and doing swaps and boosting each other and blah blah blah. That's probably one of the easier places to make connections, I think, if you purposely go look for those communities. They do exist. There's Facebook groups, there's all kinds of shit, I feel just trying to, or you could go the other route and go more into photography oriented places. Generally that's a lot more saturated. I feel I'm not in that many photography kind of groups, but they do certainly exist. There's a fucking lot of them,
right?
But yeah, I would just try to integrate yourself into some kind of community where people are trying to make similar stuff, where they value similar stuff like that.
That hits the nail on the head. I was going to say there's this sense of community in making art. And while I think that's sort of a double-edged sword, I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. I have a special distaste in my mouth when it comes to the DIY music scene. But something like photography and zines, and so that that feels so much more genuinely DIY.
Yeah.
Than any fucking Bandcamp label that I've ever spoken to in my life. But yeah, I would say, but as well as all that, you did so good of a job that I'm struggling to add to it without just like reiterating what you said. But I think I could say like validation is helpful. It's extremely helpful, and obviously it's not everything. It's what kind of keeps you going. Would I like I'm always trying to like, I struggle personally with creating art in a way that actually is like monetizable. That I could actually monetize off of it, because the thing, and I'm always pushing against it. I was actually just speaking to you about how I was like, what if I do this and this and then I do it over here, and I've started many little art projects on my website and through this thing, or if you call this number and if you do this thing, and I mean, we talk about a funnel. Like I'm almost trying to get people to not click this thing,
Yeah.
And I don't know why I like that, like I'm sitting here around a bunch of just like tape decks and audio recorders and cameras and stuff like that. I really like to document something and then not show anybody, unless somebody finds it. And then in which case it's not monetized. I can't live off of that. What I really should be doing is working on the next Flat Sound album, or working on the next Wishing thing, or working on a next merch run, Zach is always talking to me, and he used to have this thing that he told me all the time, was he was always just like, why do you hate money? Because I was always just making the wrong choice in how to make it,
Yeah, like you're allergic to getting
right,
money,
exactly.
dude.
Just do it like, why are you doing it like that? You're not gonna make any fucking money,
Yeah.
But what I did gain out of all of that was validation, and that was really, really helpful to me, because would I be making art in the same way and be as passionate about it now if I didn't receive all the validation I did for the last over 10 years? People have this they have this idea that just like art is pure and you shouldn't be doing it for other people. And all of that is true at the end of the day. But when other people encourage you in the form of validation, or they say that they're very helped by your work, or that they value it, they give it value outside of the value that you give it, it encourages you to make more of it.
Yeah.
You want to do it more. You want to, you feel very proud of what you do. Validation is important. I think that's why people get so wrapped up in social media, because it gives them such a sense of validation. Even if that's not financial, because, most people that I know that, 300K on Instagram are struggling to pay rent,
Yeah.
They rely too much on just the validation. So I guess the point of all this is that it's not everything, but it's not nothing.
It's definitely not nothing.
And the people that tell you like, oh, it doesn't matter what they think, it kind of does. Because then why are you showing it to them, Yeah. You can continue to create these zines, and they're beautiful, by the way.
We didn't mention that, but they do look so lovely.
The zines rock,
just from the quick picture that you sent us. They do look really cool.
The reason we looked this up at the beginning, when we read this email when we were starting to set up for the show, was that we were like, okay, well, let's buy one. I want to own one of these.
Yeah.
And then we saw their Instagram, and I was like, no. No, I've got some notes here.
Yeah, and you were like, I'd for sure love to answer this question, because I'd love to say some things. Yeah.
I'd love to say some things about social media and how to make things more... When I say accessible, I don't mean like it's inaccessible what you're doing or anything like that. I'm just saying make it as accessible to everybody as possible. Because I don't do that for a lot of my art pieces. Not that I'm pushing away a certain group of people or anything like that. I'm just making it hard to navigate, hard to find, hard to access that work. And I do that a bit, and I still do it. But you shouldn't. Not when you actually want sales on this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Okay, my very last piece of advice, very last bit. On social media, don't be afraid to post about things more than once.
Nobody actually cares.
No, nobody will be like, oh, fucking shut up about it already.
We
whatever.
get it.
Like,
everyone feels so neutral about it.
Yeah, post about it more than once, because more than likely, most people are not going through their entire feed on Instagram. They're not like getting to the bottom of it, So a lot of people just fucking miss that shit. And like even much bigger accounts who I follow, who have thousands and thousands of followers, I won't go on Instagram for 2 days, and I'll miss a zine drop, and then like 2 days later they'll be like, oh, only 20 copies left. I'll miss that one too. And then they'll luckily post a third one a few days later being like, only
Last
5
chance,
left. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh shit, I didn't even see it drop. Thank God I saw the 3rd post you made
Right.
about it, because I didn't see the first 2 and I
Right.
was interested. So don't be afraid of posting stuff more than once. It's not annoying. Everyone's annoying on social media. Don't be afraid of being too annoying, you know, especially if it's posting art, you know.
You probably are not being too annoying on social media. And, you know, people are more than what, like, you're going to offend very little people doing that. And all the rest of them are going to feel very neutral about it. And a lot of them aren't going to see the first post, realistically. That's just how things work online. But that's an issue that you and I have.
Yeah.
We don't post shit more than once.
I'm not that good at it.
No.
But I've been trying to be better at it. I'll try and post like at least 3 things from each zine that I do. Luckily a zine has more than one photo in it, so once I've made a zine, I'm like, well, I've got 20 photos
Exactly.
also
I can
to
post
choose
this
from,
one,
you
I can
know.
post this
yeah,
one.
exactly. So, you know, you can just post like an excerpt from it, or like 1 page of it, or 1 photo from it, just as a like, oh, this photo's from this scene, reminder I have this scene, you know. I'll try and do 3 per thing. But I could certainly do more.
You could do more.
Know?
I don't do fucking any. Like, I will, that's my thing. I post about it the one time. And then
you do. And again, Zach hates you for it.
Zach absolutely despises me for it, and we're supposed to work this year on me not doing that. So if I can do that, then you should certainly do that. Everybody posts about their art more. You know, like it's so lame that I'm over here just like, well, it's been like 2 weeks. I haven't talked about it since. Should I post about it? I don't know. I don't want to piss people off, you know? It's like,
just do it.
No one's seen it yet. Like, everyone's like, there's gonna be many people who are like, what's this? You know, it's just like merch, you know, when I post merch and then it sells out, and then for, you know, a whole month after that, people are just like, I just learned about this. Why is it gone?
Yeah.
Give those people a fair chance to know that you did a thing, you know?
Yes.
No one's really going to care. Maybe, you know, realistically, you know, maybe someone doesn't like that. Maybe someone only follows a few people on social media and they think, oh, they're just promoting. And then you lose that one follower. It does not matter, because it'll be more beneficial than it would be if you didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we gave a lot of good advice.
One last thing about expectation, too, now that it's on my mind. A big thing, too, is that you have to be okay with the idea that you could do all of this stuff and it could still not work right away.
Yep.
It's art.
Very true.
It's art, you know? Like, when it comes to validation, like, we know enough about this person to know that they make good art.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not enough.
that doesn't always translate.
You can make bad art and be successful.
Yeah.
You can make great art and be unsuccessful. It's the things that you do in between that really, really matter. And some of those things are actually just chance and luck and timing. But a lot of them are consistency, posting, how you release things, how easy it is for them to get that thing. Those make a really big difference. And they even if we're looking at this thing that, oh, it's all just luck, you want to give yourself the best chance that you can get. You know, the best, most biggest opportunity to succeed, you have to give yourself that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it works.
Yes, 100%. I definitely agree.
I have a theory. Sorry, I was going to say something. No, you were saying goodbye?
No.
You gave me the peace symbol and you were about to log. I saw you about to click the end call button.
I was gonna leave.
You said okay, and then you gave me deuces, and then
I said it's 5:26. Time for me to go to bed.
It's almost 5:30. I'd love to talk more about flat sound a little bit. Yeah, I've heard about flat sound.
I actually know quite a lot about it.
I know it. Why don't I disconnect? You can talk for as long as you fucking want. Let me go to bed.
I could go to bed. You can do a postscript for the next for 20 minutes or so.
Of course I will. Of course I'll carry on. I was just gonna say quickly that I have this theory that flat sound is only successful because of the longevity alone. You know, because of not like, you know, like the longevity. It's just my unrelenting, like, I made art for nobody for so long. Yeah. And I am a believer that you gain a fan like one at a time. You gain one fan at a time, you know? Yeah. So for these last 5 years have been incredible. The previous 5 was a slow climb, you know? Very, very slow. Yeah. First handful of years sucked even. Right. And people weren't afraid to tell me that it was going nowhere. They were
quite vocal about
they
it.
were
Actually.
they were quite brave to me when they told me, "Hey, why
should stop.
Why are you doing this?" Yeah, you're saying a lot to nobody.
Yeah.
But I just did it and did it. So that could be some inspiration to some people. But even then, it could have not worked, and I could have stopped a long time ago. But then I didn't, and it was because of those little pockets of validation that I received that gave me kind of a hint that I was doing the right thing. You know?
Yeah. But you gotta seek out or make the communities that provide you with those things sometimes.
And listen to your tarot cards. They're telling you to get a grip and keep at it.
I think the tarot cards are onto something.
I think the tarot cards are always onto something.
Yeah.
Is that all?
It must be.
Well, then, this has been All the Space Between. My name is Mitch.
My name is Billy. If you, listener, dearest listener, beautiful listener, if you have a problem, a pickle that you would like us to sink our wonky, fucked up little teeth into, you should send us an email. We love to get them. We read through every single one that we get, and we love to read a fresh one straight from the jar.
It's true.
Send us an email. Our email address, which is
allthespacein-between@gmail.com. What Billy said is absolutely true, because all of these questions were from the last week.
they were
And that's pretty much how it works with like every podcast that we do. We very rarely go into the back catalog, though we do when we need to, but we love fresh pickles. Send us those questions. Send us a question right now if you want I mean, you heard the episode. You know what type of questions we answer. If you have a question, please send us that in an email. But if you're just listening and you want to listen to more episodes, or maybe guide a friend that you're telling, oh my God, you got to listen to this podcast. It's so funny. And they're like, well, I have bad memory and I don't know how to, and you know, this is the same. You got to make the funnel small. Don't give too many steps. Maybe it's too many steps for them to just search all the space in between, because we're available anywhere podcasts are found. I think that's pretty convenient. Yeah. But if they want something even more convenient, they can search all the space in between. Wait, no, I give that to you. Sorry, hold on a second. Sorry, you go to my Instagram. There's a link tree there. Click that. There's a thing there. There's just a bunch of twos. I don't know how to rename it, but click that. We have a website. Our website is
allthespaceinbetween.com.
And that website has all the links to where our podcast is found, or the picture that we referenced in this video, or anything like that. If you like websites, go to that website and it'll link you to the other places.
Do you like websites and email?
Are you a fan of websites? I have one, and you should check it out. Solid episode, Billy Blossom.
Oh, thank you, great. Mitchell Welling. Mitchell Welling of flatsound.org.
It's been great talking to you, and I will talk to you next week.
Oh yeah, I'll see you next week. Sunday, our usual time of 4:30 a.m.
And I have to. Sorry, I don't want to bring this up on the show. You managed to text me during last week on something that wasn't podcast related.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I said good morning.
Right. And then I responded. I just forwarded that email to Zach. So you're gonna have to go through him if you want to talk to me.
You're gonna contact me on a day that isn't podcast day.
I love you so much.
Yeah. I love you too.
Okay, thank you everyone so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.